Assalamu alaikum guys, Safa your Fashion by Faith Iman. So welcome to our first Selfish Sunday session. I wanted to make sure that I got on here at 12 o'clock exactly, but nothing ever works as planned, and I'm sorry about that. I was trying to film on my laptop, but it's not working, and where I usually film here in my apartment's office, for some reason it's closed today, so yeah, the show must go on. So today we're going to be discussing multiple topics, but I want to start off by introducing myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Safa. I'm the owner of Fashion by Faith Iman, and what we do is we do faith, fitness, and fashion. We do life coaching, halal meal prep, and personal style. In order to really enhance women and help them with their confidence and help them be well-grounded women, we work with a lot of professional women, a lot of moms, and just women in general who are looking to boost their self-esteem, achieve a goal, achieve branding, and really exercise their right to be whole, balanced, healthy, strong women. So I just prepared a few things coming, and if you can, actually, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to our channel. We do everything here, so it will be multiple types of videos and sessions. Inshallah, I want to try to do these live sessions more often. So with that said, let's get started. I want you guys to I have 5 fun facts about myself that I wanted to share, and I want you guys to comment below and share your fun facts. So for me, number 1 is that I've been married for 10 years. That's my first fun fact. Number 2 is that I have 3 kids, if you guys haven't seen them on my social media. Number 3 is that I'm African American. I was born Muslim. And number 4, I'm from Houston, Texas. So you guys will see me, for those, because we have an international platform, people always see me and they ask me if I'm from Nigeria or somewhere. Big ups to Nigeria, but I'm not from Nigeria. I'm from Houston. And number 5, let me see, my 5th. I started my first quote-unquote business at probably about 9 years old. I come from an entrepreneur family, so I was making stuff, always creating things and selling stuff. So that's my 5 fun facts. So inshallah, comment with your 5 fun facts so we can get to know each other a little bit more. So the purpose of this selfish quote-unquote Sunday series is that, I wanted to emphasize the selfishness, because many times when we are taking some time for ourselves, or we're taking time to reflect or build on ourselves, we kind of feel like we're in our heart, we're selfish, especially for women. And so I wanted to play on that. So with that said, I want to read a quote to you guys. It's basically a quote that was previously on my Instagram. You can scroll and find it, but it basically talks about putting yourself first. And it's simple. It says, make your happiness and your make your happiness a priority in your life. And I feel that many people don't do that, and then we turn around and we're kind of negative towards other people. But when you take care of yourself, basically you're taking care of yourself, you're filling up your own cup, you're filling up your own health and well-being, and then you're giving yourself whatever you have full to your surroundings, to the people in your life, and then you feel so great because you're not left on empty every single day. So we're focusing on that today, is how to find your own health and your own happiness within yourself and take back that little piece of time and be quote-unquote selfish. We're gonna start the session off with some positive affirmations. So this is one affirmation that I wrote specifically for you guys, is I am worthy of happiness and healthiness. I am worthy of happiness and healthiness. I am worthy of happiness and healthiness. And so if you're not familiar with affirmations, they're simply things that you say, you affirm them with a firm belief in your heart and your mind, and you try to stay really focused on what you're saying and put it into your heart. It's like, people kind of chant their affirmations in the morning, but you can really start to feel it when you do the affirmations daily, and you feel that you have more control over what your mind is thinking, because you know that our mind is programmed to be very negative. So in order to reset that programming, you need to make sure that the first thing in the morning you're saying to yourself is something really positive and strong. So we want to make sure that we're grounded in this belief that before we start this session, before we start these little exercises, that we're actually doing and being within the mindset of accepting ourselves, accepting what we want, being comfortable with what we want and what we're trying to achieve, and really gathering the strength to go forward. Because sometimes we say stuff and we even do things in our lives and we don't believe that we can do them, and that's on a daily basis. So y'all, Assalamu alaikum. Y'all, please excuse me, I have connection issues, so if we drop, I will. Inshallah, I want to talk to you guys about 5 tips before we get started. Any coaching session, this is more of an exercise. This is not a full session. Again, if you guys want a full session, you can contact me and I'll have all the information below. And we work specifically with women, because I know I get a lot of men on our Instagram and Facebook. I love you guys, but we work specifically with women. And specifically we work with Muslim women, but we work with all women of faith, because our brand is for Muslim women, but we work with all women of faith. So these are some of the topics are aimed towards women and growth. So if you guys hear any noise, it is because, like I said, I had to continue the session because we're not going to let anything stop us. They closed my beautiful office here, which I work in every day. They closed it today for God knows what reason. And then my internet in my house is acting up and multiple things tried to get in my way. So I'm actually in the gym. But like they said, the show must go on. We're going to talk about 5 ways to adjust your mindset before you start any exercise. Number 1 is to really be honest with yourself. We have a lot of issues with honesty. We are we tend to badger ourselves and we tend to tear ourselves down, but we're not actually honest with ourselves. And, you know, be whole in your honesty, be kind in your honesty. I like one exercise where, you know, I see my sisters here. So you do, you know, you talk to yourself in the mirror, or, you know, you can talk to yourself honestly and tell yourself, hey, you need to work on this or that. Or, you know, better yet, tell yourself what you're doing great at. We always want to, like I said, kind of be negative towards ourselves. We see that self-reflection, self-honesty, sometimes we take it as a negative thing and we automatically start telling ourselves what's wrong. And the fact is you're doing some things right. Yes, mirror work. And it's really good for you, and it's really healthy because you get time before you step out into the world. If you do it in the daytime before you go out, or you do it in the evening, whichever way you do the mirror work, and we can touch on that on a later topic, exactly what the format is that is. But when you do these things, you're going to ground your mind and have like a platform to go off of instead of being pulled left to right of, you know, by what society thinks or by what your mind has already recorded. Sorry about that. If the next thing is, if it scares you, and the exercises that we're going to do, just reflecting, just like I can't explain how many times I tell people to, you know, one of the exercises we're going to do is talk about, of course, our ideal day, our ideal self, and such like that. Just when I ask people, what do you want to do? And then they'll say, for example, I want to open a business, and then they just stop right there, and I can see them thinking about it. I can see their eyes lighting up, or their dreams, and you can see their goals. They might have had these dreams as they were kids, and they really have something in them, but they don't say anything after that, or they really just are terrified of actually saying and actually writing down their goals. And I can't tell you how long it took, even though I come from a business family, took me to just kind of like really write out my goals, really write out where I want my business to go, and what it's going to look like for myself, my family. What is my daily work going to be? Those type of things should give you butterflies in your stomach. They might make you nauseous, honestly. They might make you so terrified because you've never thought that big of yourself, or you never thought that big of what you could manifest. And they scare you, and that's good, because, you know, we should believe that the faith within our heart and the faith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in this universe, like the faith He put in a Muslim or in anyone who believes, has to be very big. And if equally so, your dream or goal, opposite of the faith, the thing that you're going for, is big. It has to be big. So we have to expand our minds and really get into detailed descriptions of what we want in prayer and our daily life and our affirmations with our children, with our family members. We have to work on all of this. And in order to do that, you have to really push yourself in your imagination, and you have to get scared. Sometimes we say something as simple as we want a good relationship, or we want to be married, or we want to be, in a really big position at our jobs. And we never actually write it down. We never actually really and wholeheartedly make dua for it. We make dua for it, but we praying, but we don't have it in our mind that we believe it's going to manifest. So then the prayer is like energy. It goes up into the air, and then you're just stopping it right there because you're not actually believing and having the faith that it will manifest. So make sure you're really getting into what is scaring you, and kind of analyze why. And again, life coaches, we're here to help you, balance that, make some plans, make some goals. So if you're looking for a session, inshallah, you can contact me. Because again, it ties back into when I speak with people and they say, I can't do what you're doing. Like, I don't think I'm doing that much even so. I haven't even got my business to where I want it to be, or my family stuff and all the finances I wanted to accomplish yet. But when people see me or anyone else who's pretty active in their own work and their own truth, they get intimidated. So people always say like, oh, I can't, I don't have this or that. I'm not ready because, I need to get this in place, which is great. It's great to have a plan. Again, I'm a life coach. We're going to help you get your plan together. We're going to help you structure as much as we can. We're going to help you get all the tools and, access your mental power and get ready to accomplish your goal, inshallah. But the fact of the matter is, if you never start simply because you think that you need a certain amount of wealth or a certain amount of time, it will never work. Then that's a fact across the board. You see Tony Robbins, you see so many speakers, Oprah Winfrey. I mean, you could imagine Oprah Winfrey waiting to the right time to become who she is today. She, if you know her story, you know that all the adversity she faced. And if she just stopped and said, well, let me wait till, maybe there's another African-American, anchor woman out here or whatever, let me wait till my money's right to go over here and do this. No, you have to gather what you have in your resources, what you have as far as your time, and you have to determine what your priorities are in your daily life and what your priorities are in the particular goal, and then move forward with that with all your strength and all of your ability that you can, and just do it. Because the fact of the matter is, if you can watch this, and I always tell people this, if you can watch my live stream, you have internet, and there's this chunk of the world that does not have internet. And we don't seem to realize that because we're always on our phones and everything. And not just to mention that, because like I said, we have an international platform. Thank Allah, Fashion by Faith Iman has gone international. But of course, a lot of people follow me from Nigeria, Malaysia, Indonesia, and all of us have the internet, and we're not just women on the internet. We're tech savvy women. We're not completely clueless and oblivious to how to use a phone and how to, Google something or how to build something. Most of these businesses, you see the e-commerce businesses and all these clothing businesses, a lot of hijab and different ibaya businesses are online. And so if that was your goal, to niche out into this kind of fashion, or to niche out into making your own blog, you literally have an abundance of resources. So, and this is hard for me to accept. I go through this every week. The bigger the goal gets, honestly, I'm like, oh, I am thinking maybe I need to do this and this before I do one small thing. And that's, I think, how women think in general. We don't want to go do one thing. We want to do everything kind of in a good plan. And, we don't want to take too much time away from other things. And we're trying to be structured. A lot of women think like that, which is great. But when it comes to a goal that is aching in your heart and your mind and your soul, Allah has placed it there. It is a test for you to see, how strong your faith is. And when you step out on that faith, you will see. And I swear to you guys, it's not a joke, and I know that many of you could attest to this, an abundance of wealth. And I mean wealth by, you'll get help, you'll get people loving your ideas, you'll get people just out there, just I had a friend, my logo, you guys always see my lovely logo, and I love it. My logo, and my business in general, I want it to be very holistic to my lifestyle that I want to create. So a friend of mine reached out to me, and she's a graphic artist, designer, and this is like my sister. I love her, and she wanted to design my logo, and I was, going back and forth of how to do the logo and all this, and how to make authentically something personal. And she was the one that suggested the logo how it was. She was the one that pushed through it, and kind of motivated me to really get into selecting exactly what I wanted, and manifesting that. So, and if you know anything about a business, the logo itself is just a big deal. It costs a lot of time and money to perfect a logo, and just get that confidence to get the right logo for the brand that you're trying to create. Especially, I feel like with a lot of our Muslim brands, because we don't have the same amount of structure within our logo. And now that you see, again, tons of people who are graphic designers that are Muslim, and tons of women who are out there doing it. And so I'm really excited that the sister reached out to me, alhamdulillah, and I'm really excited that my logo is something authentic to me, my brand. And if you guys don't know this, a little secret, my logo is me. It's actually me and the turban, and it's me. It's my face. My friend is an artist, like I said, and she's a professional graphic designer, professional artist and everything. And she sketched me one time when we were like 14, 15, I think. And then I told her, we were talking about that, and then I think she pulled the idea from there. But alhamdulillah, moving on. Again, this is just one example of many that I have experienced just starting my business and, going forward, using a little bit that I have. Like I said, this morning, it's another example. Everything that could have went wrong in the last 30 minutes. And I could have just been like, okay, this video is not going to happen today. I have 3 kids and I need to go make some more food, and the laptop's not working right, and they closed the office, and I'm filming in a gym. But it's a place with internet, and it's a place with internet, and it's just that you have the internet, you have most of what you need. You have a plan, you have most of what you need. Doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect to start. You need to perfect it along the way, but in order to perfect something, we have to develop the understanding of trial and error. And for so many of us, we are, like I said, especially for women, we're kind of nitpicking when it comes to something we want for ourselves. Sometimes we nitpick and say, okay, well, it has to be this way or that way. No, it does not. You have to start, and you have to take what you have right here and now and utilize it. So that's just a quick tip. Okay, so the next tip ties into all of this, and this is the tips that we're going to do before we start this quick session with all the exercises. So I hope you have your pen and paper ready, inshallah. It's just going to be 3 questions, and we're going to go ahead and go through them, and I want you to, again, go through them with your honesty, your fearlessness, use your brain, unlock that brain power, and really allow your abundance and your raw truth to show, so that you can manifest what you actually want on paper, inshallah. So the last tip is very simple, and it ties into all the other tips, is that you have to have faith bigger than your fear, as they say. Your faith has to outlast everything that you're about to go through, because they say it's Murphy's Law. When you go towards something that's abundant and something that you love and something that you want, everything happens behind it. As soon as you start doing good, things just happen behind it. Yes, faith bigger than fear. It's something that we have to affirm every day. We make prayer. We do everything that our religion tells us to do on a daily basis. But I've still noticed that for most of us, when something negative happens, we don't automatically think, alhamdulillah, oh, thank God, okay, well, it could have been worse. We don't think that our iman is not up there yet. Iman is, faith. In Arabic, iman is faith. So for the sisters and brothers who will watch this and may not know, means faith. And your faith has to be up there. You have to keep working on it. It's something we have to work on. When something happens to you, especially if you're affirming to the universe and to everything around you that you're about to do better in your religion, you're about to push through your financial burdens, you're going to push through all of your relationship issues, believe me, stuff will happen right when it starts to get a little good. and things will just come in your way. And we know we have an idea that these are obstacles, and we have this idea that, okay, well, we know things are gonna go bad, but we don't really understand that things are equally balanced by energy in the universe. So, for example, if you have 2 negative things happen to you and a positive thing happens to you, and it just goes back and forth. And we know this in Islam because, you know, Allah said He will never put more on a soul than what it can bear. And then equally so, He says, you know, that, you know, we have trials and tribulations, and He's just testing us. So the test is there, and it always comes, especially more so when you say and you're clear about you want to achieve greatness. We're not here to be basic. Fashion by Faith Iman, as a brand, as a culture, is about cultivating the women and cultivating their excellence and allowing them to see themselves, and through, whether it's my eyes or the women that we are building around, we all have the energy to project some positive feedback to another woman, and in doing so, we become stronger. So gathering all that and gathering all your strength, inshallah, we will start this little session. So just have your paper. Here we go. So the first thing you're going to write on the first line is on my ideal day. And this is one of my favorite exercises. I did it with a friend. We were literally just sitting in her room and we were relaxing, drinking tea. And it's something I've done before, but for a lot of people from different cultures, it's just not something that it's not something taught in certain cultures, especially in the Muslim world. It's just that you get up, you go to school, you work, you grind, you get married, and you know, you just do whatever everyone else is doing. But when you have, again, a different calling, and you have a different something in your soul calling you, Allah has put something there, then you have to manifest it, or else it's going to keep bothering you. And so on my ideal day, and I have this written on my phone, so if I chop up a little bit, it's just because I'm reading off my phone. So write that on top of your paper. I'll give you guys some time. And just write the number 1 below that. And you're going to start with your first question. And we have to remember, as the coach, I want to ask you the right questions. And these questions are going to manifest, hopefully, the right mindset and the right goals that you have in mind. And they're going to really center you. So next, okay, I hope you guys can hear me. Under number 1, you're going to say, what is the healthiest version of myself? And for many of us, we don't even get to ask that question in our lives, and it's really sad. So we're going to go ahead and really focus on the question. What is the healthiest version of myself? So give you time to write that. And right below that line, I want you to put spiritually, mentally, and physically. Because those are pretty much the 3, parts of a human being, parts of our make and our physical, mental, and spiritual makeup here. So those, when we focus on those 3, inshallah, we'll gather some more understanding of what it is that we need, what it is that we want, and what our goals are. So I want you to reflect on this question just for a minute. On my ideal day, so what is my healthiest version of myself? For me, I'm gonna give you guys an example, and you can actually do bullet points here, or you can write the question. Excuse me. Bismillah. You can write the questions out, and then go back and answer them, and really reflect on them. But if you do bullet points, I will suggest that you please do 10 bullet points under each question. So please write that down, 10 under each question, or a paragraph for each question. And in paragraph form, make sure you are really describing what it is that you want. Answering this question as honestly, fearlessly, and wholeheartedly as you can. So for my example of my ideal day, in manifesting my mental, physical, and spiritual health, I would like to wake up I try to do this as much as possible for my tahajjud and my fajr. That is my ultimate like goal, is to have my morning prayers. I naturally, since I was about in my teenage years, wake up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Excuse me. So I used to drag through that time, especially with motherhood and just being exhausted. I would either be breastfeeding or something and just being exhausted. So now I try to use that time for myself and to reflect. And of course, that's the time in Islam. This is our time for prayer, and we believe that Allah is here, and this time is very near to us, and this is a time for you and yourself, and of course God. So in Islam, that's already a prescribed time, which is very beautiful. But and in science, it's considered a very power hour. It's considered the genius hour. In spirituality, health, it's considered a very, from 3 to 5 a.m. is considered a very spiritual time. The earth is very still, and this is across the board in spiritual science, Islamic teachings, and medical science, that we really, people who get up at this time before 5 o'clock or before sunrise have, healthier, more abundant lives. So it's something that I feel like if I'm already getting up at that time, I need to, take advantage of it. So that's where I'm at with that. And on my ideal day, I'll be getting up at that time, and I'll be doing my prayers, really educating myself on my religion and kind of basing myself. And, instead of like the 5 prayers and running throughout my day and just doing it, but really holistically learning and praying and manifesting like what I want to be and what Allah's trying to teach me and what I've already learned. So that will be one of my bullet points, or one of my parts of my paragraph. Moving on to the next question. Okay, thank you guys for your patience. As always, I'm really excited to have you guys. I hope you guys like this live session. Inshallah, I'll try to do more on Sundays. Okay, so the next question is really simple, but I want you to think, because this is a question we've been asked this question, honestly, since we were children, but as adults, we don't really, I think about this question. So the question is, what is it that would make you happy? What does happiness, abundance, and joy mean to you? So you just put, what is it that will make you happy? So when we were children, they say, oh, what makes you happy? Or what do you like? People ask this to children many times. Oh, well, like a balloon. I want this for my birthday. I want this for Eid. I want this. And it always came with an attachment of something that you want, because as children, we taught to, take what we want and be attached to something. But as adults, we start to realize that a lot of the times materialistic things cannot fill the void of adulthood and of the responsibilities we have. Sometimes we just want our time back. Sometimes we just want a nap. Most moms just want a nap. We want the time to work on our business. We want the time to work on our own dreams and goals and not feel like we're taking from our family. If we have families and feeling like selfish, there's things that we want and we want to manifest. And y'all, I want to focus on that question. Please put your 10 bullets points. What will really make you feel an authentic happiness, authentic abundance, authentic joy? And again, I use the word abundance a lot, because abundance means, it's an endless barakah. Allah gives us blessings, right? Barakah, blessings. And Allah said He gives an abundantly, and we're sitting over here panicking about crumbs and we're barely asking for the minimum. In Islam, we're supposed to ask for an abundance, because coming from the mindset that we're spiritual beings from paradise, paradise is an abundant place of endless, proportions. So keep thinking about this question deeply. So I'm going to give y'all a minute to reflect. And I hope you guys are enjoying the session so far and the exercises, and I hope you really get time to reflect and write them down. You can share in the comment section. You can share, if you want to email me some of your posts. I might put it on the blog later on. And I would love to, hear your feedback as to what you're working on in your personal life. For me, at this moment, I love this. This is one of my happiest moments, is sitting here quietly and being able to work, and my work in and of itself, since I was a child, work is one of my favorite things to do. I can go pretty much anywhere, whether I was teaching or when I used to cook or whatever type of quote unquote job I had, and I just love interacting with people, pushing my limits. And so when I'm doing things like this, especially when I have all this quietness around me, I can really think and manifest a lot of work, a lot of different projects, and refocus my goals. And that is pretty much the core of who I am. I love just, finding something new and creating it, and sharing it with other people. And I love hearing the feedback. I love people giving me some authentic connection and authentic feedback. So inshallah, let's move on to our last question and wrap up the session. I apologize that I started late again, and I apologize that we are running down on 32 minutes, so we'll probably finish in a few minutes, inshallah. And this is one of my first live videos, so I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Like I said, I messed up on my computer. I didn't download something or do something right, and so it's not working. But inshallah, I would try to, I love filming from my phone, so hopefully I'll film from my phone next time too. It's a lot easier. So let's get to the last question. I hope you guys are enjoying the session. As always, again, you can book your private full-on session. This is one small exercise, but the sessions include tons of exercises, tons of real work that we have to do within ourselves, and it's one-on-one, so it's for the ladies, inshallah. So if you're interested, again, the link will be below, and you can always join me on Instagram and Facebook, and you can message me there. So the last question here, and I want you ladies to really reflect, and gentlemen, here we go. Okay, so the last question I want to leave you with is a really life coaching question, and it's something I have to really ask, because I have to get into the science of it. I hope you guys are having fun, but the science of it, I have to nitpick. And I know people, when I talk to them, they're like, I have to really think. And then after a while, they get a little exhausted, because it's sad, because we sometimes don't think as much about ourselves. We think about ourselves in an egotistic way. I want, I need, I want this, I want that, I want that. But we don't really think about ourselves in the present, who you are now, manifesting whatever greatness you can with whatever you have in you right now at this moment, and being like fearless and going forward with it, but also being very fearful in your heart, because you have to be authentic with yourself. So sometimes we just don't have that balance. We just end up getting a little scared, getting a little cocky, and we just don't move forward with what we're trying to do authentically. So to get back to your authentic self, I want you to ask this last question, and we're talking about your priorities in alignment with your goals. So you have to put, what are my priorities currently doing for me in alignment with my current goals? It's a mouthful, I know. So again, what are your priorities? What are you waking up to? Again, just kind of jot down maybe 3 or 4 of your top priorities. I started doing this instead of doing my to-do list, quote unquote. Is every day I have a massive to-do list, and I'm like, this is not working for me at the moment. So what I started to do is I made a few priorities in alignment with the goals that I'm trying to achieve, and whether they're short or long-term goals, just general healthy balanced life goals. And so, for example, one of my priorities is literally just open my phone, and I open it and it says health. And I understand that that means mental, spiritual, and physical health. And I don't have to put all of that, because I want it to be very, concise and very clear. And just, I know what that means. I know that health. And under health, I know that that means drink your water, eat fruits and vegetables, get you a smoothie every day, get you a salad every day. Make sure you walk every day, whether it's inside or outside. No excuse. These are things that I want to do. So for myself, so when I say health, I automatically know that what are the things I've been doing that are really good for me? What do I want to keep in my routine? And I put that in my mind. And then the next thing I put is, of course, like family or my children, and then like finances. So I want to make sure that I have work on my finances, make sure I don't have much debt. Alhamdulillah, I don't. I want to make sure I keep it that way. But you're building a business and then you have kids and a lot of things come in between. So I don't want to get swept off my feet with the typical American lifestyle of collecting an abundance of debt, because I can't. You can't. Once you try to build something, manifest something, if you're any kind of debt, whether it's financially, spiritually, or any type of debt you have within you, it's going to drag you down. Again, it's a negative versus a positive, and it's basic science and it's basic health. You have to balance your life. So if we're discussing those type of things, for example, your priority and your goal might be to, again, open a business. But if you're starting it with an abundance of debt and your average debt that you already have within your family or from education, it can be trying. Or you're going to have some habits that are already putting you in debt and you're trying to build a business to get you out of debt. You see what I mean? So your priorities right now and your goals, they have to link up. And this is something this is what our coaching sessions, our one-on-one coaching sessions, which I suggest if you have an issue with any of these topics that I talked about, or you just want help, just balancing it and again, getting it all together, having a coach really helps, because we really get in there and we see things that sometimes you don't see, because again, it's really hard to analyze yourself. It's really hard to stick to what it is that you want to accomplish. We're a coach just like any other coach in a sport or anything else. We're there to push you, we're there to help you, and we're there to, inshallah, help you manifest something extremely great. So I want you to really think about these 3 questions, and I want you all to, really understand that the more you're detailed, the more you're fearlessly moving forward, and the more you are truly trying to authentically attach to yourself, is the more that you're going to be aligned to your actual purpose and goals. And again, you hear, I always use Oprah because Oprah is a well-known figure. Like she said, she doesn't do stuff just to get money. She doesn't do stuff because people tell her to. She is famous and she's a billionaire because she stayed aligned with her purpose. She felt her mission in life. She actually felt it. And same with any artist, any cultural person that influences our culture, any major religious figure, anyone that you guys consider successful is usually aligned with their truth and their whole entire body, mind, and soul. They're listening to what their heart is telling them, what their mind is telling them, what the universe and God has manifested and given them in their hands, between their hands. And for many of us, sadly, again, we ignore it because we just don't have the tools or the support. And so that's why I brought the life coaching into my business. That's why my business is structured for women and offering them these services. So I want you guys to, inshallah, just give me your feedback on this video, and I'll see if I get enough time to do more of these videos, probably twice a month. I don't know if I'll be able to do it every Sunday, but I want to stay consistent, inshallah. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all your feedback. Inshallah, I just want to end this with another positive affirmation, and that is, be selfish. Because with selfish comes self-love, it comes self-healing, it comes with self-confidence, it comes with self-worth, it comes with really being able to set boundaries first for the world around you, and then after that you can manifest and build greatness around you. Because if you don't have, again, energy to give to anyone else, and you don't have energy to give to yourself, you probably won't have energy to give to any business or dream or goal or desire. And you want to go through your goals and your mission in life feeling it. You want to live it. You want to be happy when you're doing it. You don't want to be burnt out. You don't want to always be exhausted or angry. And I hope, inshallah, this helped you guys and it was fun. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum.